Hello, guys. This is part three. Yeah, part three of What If Deku Was Some Monsters from Evolve. So if I remember correctly, I just did the only romantic episode on this series, and now it's on to the quirk assessment test and USJ. Yeah. So Izuku is walking through the gates of UA with Katsuki in his arms, because he doesn't have one, he has two in his arms, and holding her close. They walk into class, everybody looks and is like, why does that make sense? This is the third day of school. Yeah, third day of school. And they go, why does that make sense? All of a sudden, Katsuki yells, shut up, extras, and stop looking at us. And Izuku just barely taps her on the back of the head. She goes, ow, what was that for? And he goes, be a little nicer, just a little bit. She's like, I'll try. And so Aizawa gets out of his sleeping bag, because yes, he still has caterpillar mode. And Izumi gets out of her sleeping bag, because yes, she has caterpillar mode too, because she was raised by Aizawa. And she's in the back of the class. She was in a massive, what looked like cocoon, but it was actually a sleeping bag. And so Aizawa says, shut up, you problem children. And Izumi in the back of the class goes, Dad, be a little nicer, or I'll hide your sleeping bag. He goes, fine. Be quiet, you problem children. She's like, fine, I'll have to accept that. And everybody turns towards her going, what, Dad? Then looks back at Aizawa and goes, Dad Zawa! And everybody gets scared when he activates his quirk, except for Izuku, Katsuki, and Izumi. They don't get scared and go, you shouldn't have said that. And then Aizawa goes, yeah, everybody out to the field. We're doing a exam. And Izuku immediately, he turns back around with Katsuki in his arms still and starts walking. Izumi jumps to the door and starts walking out. And Aizawa walks out of the room. And all the other people are like, wait, he was serious? And then start running after him. And yes, Minetta's still getting expelled. I don't like Minetta. So they're in the changing room, and Minetta finds the hole in the wall. And he says, I get to see the two hottest girls in class, Katsuki and Izumi. And when Izuku heard Katsuki, he started getting mad. And then when he heard Izumi, he lost it. So he grabs Minetta by the head, which normally his quirk gets stuck to people. He grabs him by the head and says, the fuck you say? And all of a sudden, Izuku punches the wall and the hole closes. The fissure ability. Yeah, I gave him that. So he punched the wall and the hole closed. And Minetta's like, damn. He's a shameless pervert in this one. Because, damn, you asshole. All of a sudden, he feels a crushing weight on him. And he starts stuttering, saying, sorry, and really bad stuttering. And then he gets chucked out of the changing room. Full strength Izuku chucked out of the changing room. Through a few walls, too. And Izumi saw the hole and was like, there's no reason to do that because there's probably something covering it. And Jiro says, oh, Izuku's doing something. And then Izumi pulls her off the wall and then sees the hole where Jiro's jack was about to be get slammed shut. And she goes, thank you, Izumi. That would have friggin' hurt. She goes, yeah, you just lost an ear. Because that won't come off. You'd have to cut it off. And Jiro paled and Katsuki started laughing because she likes when other people get scared of her or Izuku because it's funny. And Izumi starts laughing too, saying, yeah, you should have seen what he did to a bear. And Katsuki paled this time, going, what did he do to a bear? And she goes, we were in a cave while we were training for the 10 months. That's how we found each other. And he tapped the wall, and all of a sudden, rock crushed a bear. And Katsuki was like, oh, okay. Then the perverted style of females with other females and takes over, and everybody starts playing with each other. 15 minutes later, everybody walks out, and Izumi is a tomato at this point. Katsuki is a tomato at this point. Everybody except for Mina. Mina's still pink. Is still pink. Is red at this point. So now they start the test with Katsuki going first, then Izuku, then Izumi. Katsuki gets around 1,000 meters. Izuku gets easily 10,000 meters. And Izumi gets 10,001 meters. Oh, let's be more exact. Izuku gets 10,322.34 meters. Izumi gets 10,323.34 meters. And Izuku says, finally something you're better than me. Better at than me. And Izumi pouts and goes, freaking jerk. If I remember correctly, because it's been a few hours since I was recording. Parents. But we were on the quirk assessment test. So, you just did the ball throw. I'm just going to skip to the end of the assessment. Izuku, then Izumi, then Katsuki, then Momo. And obviously, Mineto's last. He's expelled. So the next day, Aizawa brings out a stack of papers and hands them out to everybody except Izumi. It says, "Get your parents to sign this." Parent/guardian. And 3 weeks go by. Aizawa is yelling out at everybody to get on the bus. They're going to the USJ. But there's a twist. The USJ was postponed. It was a last second thing, so they postponed it by 1 day. So everybody's now at the USJ 1 day after they should have been there. So when they walk in the building, Izuku and Izumi immediately transform and block off the door before anybody else can get in. Aizawa, Izuku, and Izumi were the front runners of the class. So everybody was about to walk in, then they see Izuku and Izumi block off the door and they yell, "What the hell's going on?" Izuku and Izumi tell Aizawa, "Do you feel that?" Or ask Aizawa, "Do you feel that?" And he goes, "Yeah, good job." Then they run down to the center of the USJ and they look around and they see each zone has people sitting in them. A few of them are passed out, but mainly each zone has like 10, 20 people just sitting in the zone. So Aizawa, Izuku, and Izumi are the distractions, while Aizawa just goes around slowly taking them down and capturing them. An hour goes by, they're all captured, all the fodder villains, and Shigaraki gets notified that something's going on at the USJ. Oh, that's a good one. Deku Soundwave. But they get notified something's going on at the USJ from one of their communication people. And now they head straight towards the USJ. And when they get there, or when they warp there, they're met with a giant fist of rock hitting their faces. Or a giant claw hitting their faces. Because Izumi's in Goliath form and and Izuku's in Behemoth form. So Shigaraki walks out of the portal and then immediately warps back because Kurogiri warped back with him. They couldn't even get the Nomu out. All they got is the fodder villains. And Shigaraki asks, "What the hell?" to Kurogiri and Kurogiri shows back up. And Kurogiri says, "Master, it was an ambush." And Shigaraki says, "What do you mean an ambush?" By the way, there's no UA trader. Well, yet at least. What do you mean there's an ambush? And Kurogiri tells Shigaraki what was happening while he wasn't through the portal yet. So the USJ event happens a lot quicker and a lot less destruction. So then the police come, the news reporters come, And they're all asking the students what the heck is happening. Until the stone wall that was put up gets blown out by what looked like a fist of rock. And when they walk in, they see spider webs, they see craters, and that's just from Izumi and Izuku walking around in their behemoth form, or in their monster form, because she used her spider webs from the Gorgon form to capture some of the villains. That could be a good what if. I have like 30 different what if ideas in my head right now. I may put a comment, or yeah, I think I might put a comment, and then you guys would just have to reply either one or two for the next what if idea. So another few weeks go by, and the sports festival happens. So All Might, his time limit didn't shrink because of the USJ. Aizawa didn't get injured. 13 didn't get injured. Izuku and Izumi got out of the event without a scratch. Katsuki was a little pissed that Izuku would leave her. Especially since she wanted to help fight. So at the sports festival, I'm just gonna have a quick flashback. So one of the 6 months before the Wild Wild Pussycats tried to make contact with Izuku and Izumi, Endeavor heard about these and then wanted to have a fight and just either kill the monsters or capture them. So he fought them. He fought Izumi, the Meteor Goliath, and Glacial Behemoth from Izuku. And all he saw were two giant monsters. So he started first by trying to blast the Meteor Goliath with fire, which just pissed off Izumi. So she lit his butt up with blue fire. So they fought, and a stone got sent flying while fighting with Izuku, and it got launched into Endeavor's eye. So he lost an eye. So when Endeavor sees a four-armed child, well, two four-armed children, use the abilities of the monsters he fought, he started getting flashbacks and having a panic attack. His body temperature started to skyrocket. They had to get 3 water heroes to spray water at him while they carted him away. And when Shoto got back to the arena while they were doing the obstacle course, he looked and he didn't see his father anymore. So he started to brood again like a certain Uchiha we all know and love. Naruto reference. I love them. But he started to brood like an Uchiha, and now Izuku's been trying to place the name Todoroki, and once he gets back to the seating where Todoroki sits near him, this is after the cavalry battle. So Izuku and Izumi were on the same team. They obviously won. So Izuku, Izumi, Shinzo, and Katsuki were all on the same team. This time Shinzo did not use his quirk because he asked Deku and Izumi if he could be on their team, and they couldn't get mind controlled, which freaked him out because everybody was susceptible to his control. So they said, yeah. And after the cavalry battle, Izumi pulled him to the side and whispered in his ear, "Don't try to control us again, or you'll regret it." And he was stunned that she could figure that out. But since it's like there's 4 creatures in one mind, because they have the instincts of the behemoth, the wraith, Gorgon, Kraken, and Goliath. And the human instincts when they're in human form. So I don't know why I'm yawning a lot. Sorry if I take quick pauses every few seconds. I'm yawning a lot. So it's the 1v1s, and Shinso and Deku are first. So Shinso walks into the ring and is about to raise his hand to forfeit when Deku immediately blitzes him, whispers in his ear, "If you forfeit, you can't go out with her." Flashback to the changing room, or the uh, waiting room. Deku walks into Shinso daydreaming, and they spark up a conversation. And then one thing led to another. Shinso slipped out that he thought Izumi was pretty cute, and that he wouldn't mind going out on a date with her, and Deku immediately said, I can help you with that. She's my sister. And he immediately figured out who Izumi was talking about for not controlling us. So he paled a little, and Deku said, I don't hold grudges. She does, though. I can help you. And then President Shinso just nodded and tried to start a hand-to-hand fight with Izuku. And Izuku was just parrying, blocking, not fighting back, but avoiding getting hit. And now he's just slowly helping Shinso improve on his hand-to-hand. It's like an hour pass, and then he knocks Shinso out. And everybody was falling asleep by that time. Even midnight. I think I said Aizawa and midnight. Maybe Aizawa and Mike. I forget who I put Aizawa with. But everybody was falling asleep. Aizawa went caterpillar mode. And and Izumi went caterpillar mode once she saw who was fighting who. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. A few seconds for you. Like a minute and a half for me. But no, not an hour. Like 5 minutes pass. And Deku finally knocks Shinso out of the ring. And he walks off. And in Recovery Girl's office, Shinso wakes up and asks, where is Izuku? And Recovery Girl says, I don't know, but here's a letter from him. So he woke up after the Deku Todoroki fight. So the Deku and Todoroki fight basically goes to canon, where he uses air pressure because he's that strong. But instead of trying to help Todoroki, he just beats the mindset into him that you are you, he is he. Now get over it. That's it. That's all he said. And started fighting Todoroki with one arm. The rest of them were, or by his request, tied behind his back. And everybody's like, oh, he's going to lose. But he comes out victorious and says to Todoroki, you using only your ice is like me using one finger. You're cutting yourself off from limitless power that you have. Just use your fire. Just use your fire. And then he walks off. And Todoroki's like, he's that strong because he uses his quirk to the fullest. That is amazing. Then he goes into his brooding ways and he's like, no, I'm not using his fire. Then he thinks back on Izuku going, you are you, he is he. You are not him, and he is not you. He doesn't mention anything about quirks. He doesn't mention anything about passing things down. He just goes, you are different. You are different. And he just kept beating that into Todoroki. Then when Shinso woke up, yes, where is Izuku? He read the letter, and he ran to the 1A bleachers. And while Shinso was out, Izumi fought Katsuki. No. No, Izumi fought Momo. Yeah, Izumi fought Momo. I'm gonna replace Tokoyami with Izumi in this. Izumi fought Momo. And yeah, Izumi fought Momo and came out on top. Katsuki fought Tokoyami in this instant and came out top. So it was Katsuki and Izumi right now, but Izumi is currently absent-minded and is just staring out into the area while who fights who? It was Izuku, Todoroki. I'm just gonna say it was Kirishima and Tetsu arm wrestling. She's just absent-mindedly staring at Tetsu and Kirishima, and Kirishima still wins, obviously, because Tetsu didn't need enough iron that day. Oh my god. So, Shinso runs up to the arena area, or the 1A area, and Ida's like, "You're not allowed here. This is 1A, not general." And Izuku flips uh, Ida off and says, "Fuck off. People can sit where they want. These are school bleachers, not class bleachers." And he was about to retort with his weird hand chop thingy, and Shinso uses his quirk on Ida and says, "Okay, what is your name?" Ida goes, "I am," and then stops. Shinso says, "I don't care. I honestly don't care. I know you can hear me and understand me. I don't care what your name is. I'm better in a fight. I suck against robots. I only fight living things easily. My quirk is against living things, not stupid animatronics or robots. I don't care for those. If it's a robot infestation or a robot invasion, freaking call the Terminator. I don't want to fight Skynet." So he walks past Ida and then lets Ida go. Ida is about to kick him in the shin until he felt something hit him in the face. Ida and the winner of Tetsu or Kirishima fight. Yeah. He felt something hit his face. There's a rock from Midoriya saying, "Get ready for a fight. Kirishima just won." And um um so Ida and Kirishima fight. Kirishima gets mollywopped by Ida because Ida's a little frustrated right now, and well, Kirishima doesn't have any defense against speed. He just has his armor. And speed counteracts armor, so. But before that fight happens, Shinso walks behind Izumi and asks her a question. And asks, why are you staring off into space? And to tell her that it's him, when she responds with just a grunt, he tries using his quirk. She turns around, he smiles, waves, and covers his manly bits as fast as possible. The only thing that's keeping him a man, he covers it as fast as possible. So she still hits him in the back of the head this time. But she's not staring absentmindedly anymore. And Izuku noticed that, starts laughing, and sends Shinso a text without Shinso knowing that Izuku got his phone number. Yes, Izuku's that kind of person. He's easily able to find information on people. And he's Aizawa's favorite. Well, no, his favorite. Izumi's his favorite. But he's his second. And Katsuki's his third. So he texts Shinso. She must have been worried for you, because she stopped looking absent-minded once you showed up. And Shinso read it and started blushing and got nervous. And since Katsuki and Izumi are good friends, they were talking while she was absent-mindedly staring at the stands. So Izuku yells over to Katsuki, hey, I want to go grab something to eat before we have to fight. With Izumi says, aren't we gonna fight? And Izuku retorts, depends on if you can get past my girlfriend. And Katsuki blushes a little, as she's still not used to being called a girlfriend. But also giggles, because she's getting praised by her boyfriend. So they go get something to eat, and Izumi and Shinso. No, Shinso was not adopted by Aizawa. Izumi and Shinso start talking. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. So, it's finally Izumi and Katsuki's fight. So Izuku's currently in the waiting room with Katsuki, wishing her luck, and Izumi's in the stands, running down to the waiting room, and Shinso stops her for a second, wishes her luck, and kisses her cheek. Which Izumi immediately goes tomato red and runs away as fast as possible. When Izumi and Katsuki get out in the field, Izumi's still a little red, and Katsuki notices this and plays to her insecurity. And every mutation quirk person has an insecurity of what they look like. So Katsuki knows that Izumi doesn't like being complimented very much. And she doesn't like being complimented very much either. And Izuku hates compliments. Because whenever he gets complimented, he thinks that someone wants something from him. Unless it's Katsuki. Which then he thinks she definitely wants something from him. So, during the fight, Katsuki keeps whispering that just loud enough that Izumi can hear and no one else can. So Izumi is getting redder and redder and redder. She's not full blown tomato yet for her face. Then Katsuki, out loud where everybody can hear, asks Izumi, and Izumi thinks that she's still whispering because she's getting flustered, and so she whispers back after Katsuki asks the question of, "Do you like Shinso?" And Izumi just whispers, "Yeah." And Katsuki goes, "Oh, so you do like Shinso?" And now Izumi's yelling, and she's like, "Yeah, what's the point?" And she points at the stand and goes, "I think he likes you," and just points to a tomato faced Shinso in the crowd, just being like, "Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god." And Izumi goes full on tomato and blitzes Katsuki. And Katsuki was expecting this, so she got ready with a massive explosion. So Izumi's armor is now 0, and she's actually taking damage. She's still super strong, but she's actually taking damage now. So they're kind of on an equal footing. Oof. So now, I might end this one a little short because I really want to get another Deku idea out of my head because it's just bouncing around in my head. Or not Deku. Wasn't it? I got an Asta idea out earlier today. I think it was the Wise Man's grandson. Yeah, I think it was the Wise Man's grandson. Well, anyway, I might get that out, and depending on if I get 5, if I get 5 likes before I get 5 dislikes on the video, depends on if I continue the series or not. If I get 5 likes on the video before I get 5 dislikes, then I won't continue the series. But if I get 5 likes before I get 5 dislikes, if I get 5 likes before I get 5 dislikes, I'll continue. But if I don't and I get the other way around, then I won't continue it. Anyway, back to the story. So, another 3 minutes pass of close calls for both of them on the edge of the ring, and the ring is now covered in spider silk. And Katsuki's getting stuck left and right, and she keeps using her explosions to burn it away slowly and slowly. So Izumi gets increased agility while she's on the silk. Because spiders naturally know how to move on their silk faster than they do on normal land than other creatures. So Izumi is currently running like mad around Katsuki, and another 3 minutes pass, and Katsuki's running on fumes. Izumi's still going strong, and I like this quote from Don Manchi. Another's demise, or yeah, the upper hand lies, or no, I think it was the, yeah, the upper hand lies a few inches away from one's own demise, or something like that. I said it to Belle when it was the war arc in season 2. Anyway, I just like that. Anyway, um, um, hmm. Yeah. So Katsuki is faking the oh, I'm about to pass out. Well, not actually faking it, but almost passing out, and Izumi's getting sloppy. Oh, the enemy gets more predictable. A few or yeah, I think so. Yeah. Ugh. The quote escapes me right now. Watch Don Manchi. It's a really good anime. But she's at her last. She's on fumes, and Izumi is just blitzing her, ready to send her out of the ring. And they're close to the edge of the ring. And before Izumi knows it, she's outside of the ring. Because Katsuki, while Izumi was charging her, basically flipped on or laid or fell on the ground and kicked Izumi above her before she noticed. So Izumi lands on the outside of the ring and notices she's out on the side of the ring and goes, "Damn! What the hell happened?" And Izuku just erupts in laughter on the stands. And Izumi turns to him and uses all 4 hands and flips him off. And then Katsuki promptly falls, but gets caught by Izumi. And Katsuki goes, "Thank you," in a very weak voice, and then passes out. Is immediately taken to Recovery Girl, and President Mike says, "We'll take a 30-minute intermission. And if Katsuki has not woken up, we'll substitute her for Izumi. For an even bigger fight, we'll need to also go to a new arena, but we'll substitute." So, 29 minutes later, Katsuki's just come out of the slightly comified state and is sleeping peacefully like a normal person would, instead of the "I'm almost dead" coma that some people be put in. So she's leaving peacefully, and the 30-minute mark happens, and President Mike says, "We are moving shop to testing ground." I think it was Gamma? Whatever testing ground that giant dirt patch is. So giant jumbotrons come out of the stadium and pop up in front of everybody, saying, "This is view of such and such, and we had time for our students to rest and prepare with their quirks." And then he explains the armor system for Izuku and Izumi's quirks, and how that they weren't allowed to eat anything in between their matches. And the pros were like, "What? They were starved today?" And Aizawa chips in, "They weren't starved today, but since this happened really early in the morning, yes, they haven't eaten since breakfast." And it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then all the pros are like, "What do you mean they haven't eaten since breakfast?" And then Aizawa's like, I freaking hate this, but at every time that Izuku and Izumi break their biological armor that they have with their quirks, we gotta get this. Then he clicks a button, and a picture of a semi truck with pizzas in the back, and them just eating pizza. And then it shows a picture of a empty wallet with dust coming out. And all the pros just wince at the picture of the wallet and the semi truck. So they flip back to the screen where they see two students, Izumi and Izuku, walking out and transforming. Before they transform, they yell back to each other, back and forth, "Lights first or heavies first?" And Izumi yells, "Heavies." So she transforms into Goliath, and Izuku transforms into Behemoth first. And everybody's like, "So those are the monsters of 1A." And Aizawa hears that in the background from a few people, and he goes, "Those aren't monsters. Well, their quirk is monsterish, but they aren't monsters. Izumi's my favorite child and student. Izuku's like a nephew to me. And my second favorite, Katsuki, well, she's just a problem child, but my third favorite." And he goes down the list of favorites, and then it gets to Ida for the last one, and Ida's like, "What's wrong with me?" And then he goes, "Yeah, he's my last favorite, mainly because of the stick up his butt. But anyway," and everybody starts laughing, except the Tenya family. Except for them. They look at Ida mad. So, Izumi and Izuku are currently the kaiju, basically kaiju, just brawling. And everybody sees this titanous battle going on. And every big hit, they can see blood and dirt and rock flying off of each other. And then Izuku roars as loud as possible and transforms into Wraith, and then screeches. So Izumi immediately understands and transforms into Gorgon. And they run or teleport into whatever ground Nezu and that finals test was for Mina and Kaminari, I think. Kaminari was. It was. But yeah, I might end this a little early. But then they switch, and then everybody's like, "Whoa, they have two?" And Aizawa and Mike go, "Yes, Izuku has two forms, and Izumi has three. We have specifically set up this match to showcase their pure power and unstoppability." An hour passes of them just watching a Titan brawl another Titan. So Izumi has gone through Kraken, Goliath, and Gorgon, and Izuku has gone from normal to Behemoth to Wraith, back to normal when Izumi goes to Kraken. And everybody's like, "What the hell is he doing? Does he want to die? You can't fight that thing." And then Izumi roars as loud as possible and sends a lightning bolt down on Izuku. And Izuku just stands there, taking it. And when the lightning bolt ends, because it was a really long lightning bolt, he drops to one knee and then blitzes her. And she gets hit full force with a human bullet, basically, from Izuku. So she roars out in pain. And he starts wailing on her. She starts wailing on him. And they just go back and forth. And it's been an hour, and Katsuki finally wakes up, or woke up around halfway through, and started cheering for Izuku. So it's the end of the match, and they're both in human form, and they both punch each other in the jaw, like Kirishima and Tetsu, and they both knock each other out. And everybody's like, "So they're even." Then Aizawa chimes in. It was a match of speed and strength against durability and strength. So they're both freaking strong as hell, but one's faster than the other. Kraken, Goliath, and Gorgon are faster and weaker in durability than Behemoth and Wraith. Because Wraith is stupid fast. Gorgon, stupid fast. Kraken, stupid strong. Goliath, stupid strong. Behemoth, stupid strong and stupid durability. So, they're kind of even. No. Leo, no. No. No, Leo. Leo's my cat. Hold on. I'll be able to find you a picture. Yeah, that's Leo. Back on topic. So, they've knocked each other out, and Izumi is now number 2, Katsuki is number 3, and Izuku's number 1. So, Izumi and Izuku get, I'm going to say there's around 400 in each district, and there's like 23 districts. Yes, I'm going off the Tokyo Ghoul system. Don't hate me. It's easier for me to understand. It's 400 each district. There's 23 districts. So that's 800. No. 8,000. 9,006 some. I'd say there's a few that are more populated than others. So it's a lot tighter and not as easy to get around. So Izumi and Izuku get around 7,000 each. Some Izumi got and some Izuku got. Everybody goes to the same except for Katsuki, Izuku, and Izumi. Since Endeavor wasn't there, he didn't see how good Todoroki was. But after he did send a request for Todoroki, and Todoroki did accept because he's still going through the I'm my own person kind of change, and it's a stupid Todoroki monologue. But we are now into the Stain arc, and I'm going to end it here. Because Katsuki went with Gran Torino and Izuku. Yeah, Izuku. I'm going to have to look up who he would go with. But, no, Jack, don't do that. Jack, no. Jack is my other cat. No. No. Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh, see you guys. I'll probably get a Toph one out. Yeah, I'll probably get Toph out. I'll have to check on where I am. See you guys next episode.